If you're getting close to retirement or you're already there and you're still making a car payment every single month, I need you to really think about what that's costing you, not just in dollars, in freedom, because here's something almost nobody explains clearly. A paid-off car isn't just a nice milestone. It might be one of the single most powerful things you can do for your retirement. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why and what to do if you're not there yet. Let's start with a simple truth most people overlook. Retirement isn't just about how much money you have saved. It's about how much money you actually need every single month to live. And that number, your monthly nut, as some financial planners call it, is shaped enormously by fixed expenses, housing, insurance, and yes, car payments. The average car payment in the United States today runs several $100s a month. For a lot of retirees, that's a payment locked in for 4, 5, sometimes 6 years. Now imagine that same payment disappearing completely, not reduced, gone. That's what a paid-off car does. It doesn't just save you money, it removes an entire fixed obligation from your monthly budget permanently for as long as you own that car. Let's talk about why this matters so much more after 60 specifically. When you're working, a car payment is an annoyance, but it's absorbable. You have a paycheck coming in regularly, and if money gets tight one month, you can often work a little overtime, pick up a side project, or adjust. In retirement, that flexibility disappears. Your income becomes fixed, social security, a pension, withdrawals from savings, and it doesn't just magically go up if a bill catches you off guard. Every fixed monthly obligation you're carrying into retirement is a permanent subtraction from an income that isn't growing the way it used to. This is where the math gets powerful. Let's say your car payment is $400 a month. Over a year, that's $4,800. Over a 10-year retirement, that's $48,000. Money that, if it wasn't going to a car payment, could either stay invested and continue growing, or simply reduce how much you need to withdraw from savings each month, extending how long your money lasts. And here's the part people don't think about enough. It's not just the payment, it's the insurance. Financing a newer car often comes with a requirement for full comprehensive coverage, not just liability, because the lender wants to protect their asset. Once your car is paid off, you have the freedom to decide what coverage actually makes sense for you. For an older, fully paid vehicle, many people are able to drop comprehensive and collision coverage entirely, especially if the car's value has dropped significantly. That alone can save hundreds of dollars a year, stacked right on top of the payment you're no longer making. Now let's talk about something a little deeper, the psychological weight of debt in retirement. There's a particular kind of stress that comes from having a required monthly payment when your income is fixed and finite. It's different from the stress of a bill when you're working. When you're working, in the back of your mind, you know there's another paycheck coming, another opportunity to earn more if needed. In retirement, that safety net isn't there in the same way. Every required payment becomes a small recurring source of quiet anxiety, a reminder that your money has less flexibility than it used to. A paid-off car removes one of those obligations entirely. It's not just financial breathing room, it's mental breathing room. Financial counselors who work specifically with retirees consistently point to debt-free living, especially around vehicles and homes, as one of the biggest contributors to a retiree's sense of security and control over their own life. When you wake up knowing that nothing is owed on the car in your driveway, that's one less thing pulling at the back of your mind every single month for the rest of your life. Let's also talk about depreciation, because this is where a lot of people accidentally sabotage their own retirement without realizing it. New cars lose value fast, often 20% or more in the very first year alone, and close to half their value within the first 3 to 4 years. If you're financing a brand new car every 4 or 5 years throughout your 60s and 70s, you're not just paying interest on the loan, you're also absorbing massive depreciation over and over again, cycle after cycle. Meanwhile, the person who bought a reliable, slightly older car, paid it off, and kept driving it for 10 or 12 years sidesteps almost all of that depreciation. Their car isn't just paid off, it's also cost them dramatically less overall, dollar for dollar, compared to someone who keeps trading up. Here's a comparison worth sitting with. Imagine two people, both 60 years old. One decides to finance a new car every 5 years for the next 20 years of retirement. 4 separate cars, 4 separate loans, 4 separate rounds of depreciation, 4 separate insurance step-ups for newer vehicles. The other buys one reliable used car in their early 60s, pays it off within 2 or 3 years, and drives it for the next 15 to 20 years with only maintenance costs. The difference between these two paths isn't just thousands of dollars. Over 2 decades, it can realistically be tens of thousands of dollars. Money the second person gets to keep, invest, or simply enjoy, without a car payment looming over them every month. Now, let's address something a lot of people quietly wonder about, but rarely say out loud. Doesn't an older car eventually cost more in repairs? Isn't that a hidden expense that cancels out the savings? It's a fair question, and the honest answer is, sometimes a little, but almost never enough to outweigh what you save by not financing. A well-maintained car, especially one from a reliable manufacturer, can often run smoothly well past 150,000 or even 200,000 miles, with nothing more than routine maintenance, oil changes, tyres, brakes, the normal wear items. Even if you set aside a modest amount each month for repairs and maintenance, say $50 or $75, you are still coming out dramatically ahead compared to a $400 or $500 monthly payment plus higher insurance. The math almost always favours keeping a paid-off car running rather than replacing it on a schedule dictated by loan terms instead of actual need. So what does this mean practically if you're not there yet? First, if you're still a few years out from retirement and currently carrying a car loan, prioritise paying it off before you stop working, if at all possible. This is one of the most valuable uses of extra income in your final working years, more valuable, in many cases, than almost any other discretionary spending, because it permanently lowers your required monthly expenses for the rest of your life. Even putting an extra $100 a month toward the principal can shave a year or more off the loan and save you real money in interest. Second, when it's time to replace a car, resist the pull toward financing a brand new vehicle purely out of habit. A reliable, well-maintained used car, often 2 to 4 years old after the steepest depreciation has already happened, can give you nearly all the comfort and reliability of new at a fraction of the long-term cost. Pay cash if you can. If you can't pay cash, aim for the shortest loan term you can comfortably manage and treat paying it off early as a top financial priority. Third, once your car is paid off, don't just quietly let that money get reabsorbed into random spending. This is a critical step people skip. Redirect it on purpose. Whether that means adding it to your monthly savings, using it to pay down other debt, or simply keeping it as a cushion for maintenance and repairs, that $400 or $500 a month is now yours to direct with intention. Treat it like a new payment, except this time the payment goes to your own future instead of a lender. Fourth, review your insurance the moment your car is paid off. Call your provider and ask specifically whether you still need comprehensive and collision coverage, given the car's current value and age. For many older paid-off vehicles, dropping that coverage and keeping solid liability protection is a completely reasonable choice, and it's an easy conversation that most people simply never think to have. Here's the bigger picture I want to leave you with. Retirement security isn't only built by how much you've saved, it's built by how little you're required to spend every single month just to maintain your life. A paid-off car doesn't just save you money, it gives you one less bill to worry about, one less obligation tying up your fixed income, and one more piece of real, tangible control over your own financial future. Think about what that money could actually become over time. $400 a month redirected into savings instead of a car payment isn't just $400 sitting still. Over years, even conservatively invested, it has the chance to grow. It can become the difference between feeling stretched every month and feeling like you have real breathing room. It can become the fund that covers an unexpected home repair without panic. It can become the trip you take with your grandchildren without a second thought. That's what a paid-off car is really buying you. Not just transportation, but options. If you're already retired and still carrying a car payment, this isn't about guilt, it's about strategy. Look honestly at your loan balance, your interest rate, and whether accelerating that payoff, even modestly, could meaningfully change your monthly breathing room. Sometimes even paying a little extra each month applied directly to the principal can shorten the loan by a year or two and free up that money sooner than you'd expect. And if you're approaching retirement and still have time to plan, let this be the nudge you needed. Get that car paid off before you stop working, and choose your next vehicle with your future monthly freedom in mind, not just what feels exciting today. A car is not just a possession. In retirement, it's either a monthly obligation working against you or a paid-off asset working for you. The choice you make now shapes which one it becomes. If this video gave you a new way of thinking about something as simple as a car payment, follow along, because I share practical, real-life financial strategies made specifically for people building a secure and comfortable retirement. And I want to know, are you currently driving a paid-off car or still working toward it? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one.